Hello, and welcome to the Cursive Connection, the program where we teach you the art of cursive handwriting. My name is Mrs. Fletto, and I will be your television teacher. Today, we will start with the lowercase I and T. Both use the undercurve and slant strokes. Now the first stroke is called the undercurve, starting from what we call the baseline and curving slightly to the right until we hit the headline. We're going to do that one more time. We start at the baseline, curving slightly to the right until we hit the headline. Now let's practice that a few times by drawing in the air. And now's your chance to practice that on your own paper. Let's pick up your pencil and draw the undercurve 5 times. We start at the baseline, curving slightly to the right till we hit the headline. That's 1. 2. Now remember, if you make a mistake, it's okay. We don't have to erase. We just begin with the next stroke. That's 3. 4, and 5. Now the second stroke is called a slant, and it's almost like a straight line down the paper, except we bring it slightly to the left to make that slant. We're going to do it one more time. Remember, it's almost like a straight line, except we bring it slightly to the left to make that slant. Let's practice that a few times in the air. And now you can pick up your pencil and practice that on your paper. We're going to draw the slant 5 times on the paper. Remember, we begin with the headline, slanting slightly to the left. 1. Now remember, if you make a mistake, it's okay. We don't have to erase. We just begin with the next stroke. 4 and 5. Now we're ready to begin our first cursive letters. We'll begin with the letter I. Now put your pencils down so you can watch me make the letter I. Now to create the letter I, we'll begin to use the undercurve. The stroke begins at the baseline and touches the midline, slanting down. We curve it back up to hit that midline, and we dot it. We're going to do it one more time. We start at the baseline, going up to the midline, bringing it to a slant, curving it slightly back up to the midline, and we dot that I. Now remember, you're just watching me right now. And sometimes you may accidentally go over the midline or accidentally sink below the baseline. So if you accidentally go up the midline or sink below the baseline, it's okay, because we can practice one more time and make it correct the next time. We bring it up to the midline, slanting down, bringing it back up to the midline, and dotting that I. Now you can pick up your pencil and draw the letter I 4 times on your paper. This would be a good time for your teacher to walk around and check your work. Now to make sure we've done the letter correctly, we'll need to go back and put in a long slant line to show that we have the proper slant. We'll draw the line from the very top and slanting it. Very good. Now you can put a star next to the letter you think is the best one that you've written. Now let's try the letter T. Now first, you'll have to put your pencil down on your desk so you can watch me. Now to create the letter T, we'll begin again to use the undercurve, passing the midline, slanting down, coming back up to touch that midline, and crossing that T. Starting at the baseline, passing the midline, slanting down, pulling it back up to touch that midline, and crossing that T. Did you see I made a mistake there? That's right, I went past the baseline. But that's okay, because here's where we get to practice and create another one. Going up, passing the midline, slanting down, pulling it back up to the midline, and crossing that T. Now's your chance to pick up your pencil and try to draw the letter T 4 times on your paper. Your teacher will help you if you need it. Now, to make sure that we've done the letter correctly, we'll need to go back and put a long slant line to show that we have the proper slant in each of the letters. We'll start from the very top, making that slant line in each of our letters to make sure that we have a slight slant when we wrote them. You're doing great. Now you'll want to put a star next to the letter you think is the best one. Now, do you remember what 2 strokes we used to create the letter T? That's right. They're the same ones we use for the letter I. We use the undercurve and the slant. Now let's try some words that have the letter I and T. Now, of course, there are going to be some letters in these words that you haven't yet learned. But don't worry. Just try your best and focus on the letters I and T. You'll have to put down your pencils again so you can watch me. I'm going to write the word title, as in the title of a book. Now, to begin writing the word title, we start making the T at the baseline, going past that midline, slanting down, creating a smaller undercurve to create that I up to the midline, slanting down, making another T by using that undercurve past that midline, slanting down, making a great big undercurve with an overcurve to create that L, and an undercurve for the E with a down curve, pulling it all the way up to that midline. We're going to cross the T, dot the I, cross the other T to create that word title. I'm going to turn my paper so you can see that I have some slants along my letters. Now, you'll want to skip to the next baseline on your paper and write the word title 3 times. Remember, if you need help, simply raise your hand and your teacher will come and help you. Great work. Now put a star next to the one you think you put the best effort in. Now let's write the word time. You'll again have to put down your pencil so you can watch me. Now to begin writing the word time, we'll have to remember to skip down to the next baseline, making the T at the baseline, creating an undercurve past that midline, slanting down, another undercurve to touch that midline to make that I, creating an overcurve for that M, bringing it down, another overcurve, bringing it down, creating yet another overcurve, bringing it down, and an undercurve for the E with a down curve, pulling it all the way up to that midline, crossing the T, and dotting the I. Now you'll want to write the word time 3 times on your own paper. Did you remember to skip down to the next line? Your teacher will help you if you need it. Well done. Put a star next to your best effort. Now, to make sure that we've done the letter correctly, we'll need to go back and put a long slant line to show that we have the proper slant in each of your words. We'll draw the line from the very top and slanting it. How did you do? Getting the slant is a little tricky. It'll get easier with practice. Well, that's it for this time. Keep practicing the letters I and T until our next lesson, when we'll work on the letter U and W. Goodbye for now.